Rockers in Recovery Media is dedicated to carrying the message of addiction recovery through music, news, events, and festivals taking place within and not limited to the clean and sober community. Rockers in Recovery Radio is based on opinion only and is not meant to treat or diagnose any health or mental health issue of any kind. If you feel you need help for any health-related issues, please contact a physician or mental health professional. The opinions expressed by our guests are not necessarily those of Rockers in Recovery.
Hey, welcome to the show, Waking Up Blessed. I'm your host, John Hollis, and of course the show is live Monday through Friday from 9 to 9:30, and that's on the East Coast, so you can set your time periods. The goal is to start the day with inspiration and hope, using a thought for the day, health and wellness information or interviews, guest stories of experience, strength, and hope. The show is part of the Rockers in Recovery Radio Network, and of course you can find us at rockersinrecovery.com. Today's show is sponsored by the SoberMap app, and you can go to the App Store or Google Play Store and check that out. You can actually download the map or the app, and it's just like a Yelp. You can find local meetings in your area, click on them, and click on your area, and you can find a meeting and other related recovery information right there. And it's a SoberMap app at the App Store and Google Play. Please check it out. They support this show. We support them, and that's how it works. Rockers in Recovery Radio and Productions has been around since 2008, and if you go to rockersinrecovery.com and you click on the About tab, it'll tell you all the information about what we've been doing and how we've been doing it. And you can also click on the media partners and see other folks that are involved with our message and carrying the message, the daily message of hope to the masses. And we appreciate everybody's support and everybody that works with Rockers in Recovery. So starting out the day, I can tell you this, that today is kind of a strange day for me. I'm getting ready. Tomorrow we have, of course, Lori going in for a biopsy, and it's been all I can tell you is the last couple of days. It's really been the support of a lot of people around us, and being able to pick up the phone and call people. It's been upsetting for myself, Chris, and Lori. And most importantly, Lori, and watching her in fear and her anxiety level going up and down, and just trying to be there to support her and to support what she's going through, and continuing to pray. And all I know is this, is that I put everything in God's hands. I always have. I have faith that no matter what, God will present to us whatever we're supposed to go through, and we'll go through it. It's been happening for years. It's been happening with Rockers in Recovery Radio. It's been happening with everything that we do. We just put it in God's hands. And whatever's meant to be is meant to be, and it's God's will. So we appreciate everybody's support and everybody's prayers. And, going through the process tomorrow, we'll be updating people. There will not be a show tomorrow. I will not be doing my show in the morning. We have to be at the doctor's office at 10 o'clock. So we, again, appreciate everybody's support and everybody's love. And we look forward to bearing good news, God's will. So that being said, we have a great guest today. Somebody that's been supporting us as a friend for many, many years and our mission. And he is a gentleman that is not only a great guy, but he's also celebrating a birthday today. He gets to celebrate his, I think, 54th birthday. We'll find that out. But let's bring on my buddy Scott. Scott, good morning. How you doing, buddy?
I am good. Any morning I wake up is a good day, especially if I've got a hot cup of coffee in my hand and talking to my friend John.
Hey, listen, I wanted to thank you for making it possible for Mr. Armbruster to get up at this, ungodly hour for you. Get on the air.
It's not bad. I will tell you, this was my first day off in over a month, as we talked.
Oh,
but
okay.
When you put the invite out, I think I responded. I don't do mornings, but for you, absolutely.
Well, listen, man, thank
pleasure.
you for being on the show, and thank you for, the support over the years. But one of the cool things about, the show is about waking up blessed, and, we get to have another day of life, and, mad, glad, or sad. In my case, it all starts out with not taking that first whatever, drink, drug, whatever. That
right.
could, potentially turn into... Well, not potentially, it always did. Anytime I picked up, it always ended really, really bad, and I wasn't waking up feeling blessed, that's for sure. So in your particular case, you live your life in a very altruistic way. You support a lot of things. You help a lot of people.
Yeah.
And what is waking up blessed to you?
Oh, man, getting up in the morning and being able to take my daughter to school is something that is a blessing for me. I'm super busy. My daughter Kayla, giving a shout out to Kayla, who went in early today to do more studying. She's hanging out at the intern class at Reagan High School in San Antonio. And even though neither one of us are really morning people, I just feel that the fact that I get to hang out with her a little extra in the day is a way for me to start my day on a positive foot. And I feel blessed that she's healthy. She's got, a great character, great attitude, and she has surrounded herself with great friends. And any father of a 15-year-old daughter would feel pretty blessed to be able to say that about their kid, So that's a blessing. And then I get to go to work. Which is awesome because, as you know, I do live my life in a very different way. I try to surround myself not only with positive people, but I try to be the change I want to see. So I get to wake up in the morning and, sell a product that I invented initially for myself, but then found out it had such a great impact on others. And that, to me, is an unbelievable blessing, to be able to go out and positively impact somebody's life is awesome. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
So those are the things that I feel blessed about, and then I feel blessed that I have, friends like yourself and friends like Tim and Nancy and Carol Harblin and Rita, people that I know and even don't know on Facebook that send me positive energy and messages just randomly along the way. This young lady, Rita, who I've never met, never spoken to, she consistently sends me positive messages throughout the day. And she doesn't realize that how important those are and how often they come in just at the right time. I'm having a moment of doubt or having a moment of, why do I do this? And then something will pop in a message feed, and it's a positive sticker, message, a happy face, and it just makes me feel for that moment that, okay, there are people out there in the world that are sending me positive energy that I may not even know, never spoken to, and that's awesome. It's amazing. So, and I try to do that as well. While you were talking about Lori this morning, I randomly shot off a positive vibes message to her, just so that she knew that I was here and thinking about her and sending her positive energy. And I generally will start my day each way that way, by sending out a positive message to somebody. Just thinking about you, have a great day. You can do it. It's all good. It's all good.
The health and wellness aspect of life, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We as we get older, especially, we start to really become concerned with it. When I was 20, I didn't care.
Well, but you're 20, you're young and dumb. You're going to live forever. Nothing's going to, bother you.
Bulletproof, 7 feet tall.
Exactly.
So one of the things that happens, with health and wealth, and my belief is that along with that comes stress, along with that comes anxiety, and part of the health and wealth is to be able to quiet the van, so to speak, because even though you're out there and you might be clean or sober, you're out there and you're a person dealing with issues, maybe a loved one or whatever it may be. You have to quiet that noise in your brain, and one of the things that I have found over the years, when I first got my first sound pillow, it was just that. It was being able to hook it up. At that point, it was just hooking it up to an MP3 player, and then you went on to create a whole sound system around it where people could use it for meditation. They can use it for tinnitus. They can use it for a lot of different things. So it was kind of a cool process. But one of the things that I've always admired about you, Scott, and other people, especially entrepreneurs and people like us who are developing things, and we're putting it out, and we want to support people with our developments, but most importantly, in the end, some of them don't work. So our thought for today, really, and I want you to elaborate on this, because the thought for today is, through failure, we learn a lesson in humility, which is probably needed, painful though it is. What would you?
Absolutely.
What do you think about that? Would you like to respond?
Oh, absolutely. Well, first I can tell you this: I have failed more times than most people have tried, and I see failure as a necessary process. Well, a necessary part of the process. And I also don't really see failure as failure if I've learned something from it. When I initially released the Sound Pillow as a standalone, it had really good feedback from some, but it had a lot of failure from others. And in listening to folks say, hey, Scott, can you make it louder? Can you add this to it, a volume control? Can you come up with content? Is there something, I like the concept, but this doesn't work for me under these scenarios. So I didn't see the initial release as a failure. I saw it as a learning opportunity to make it better. And the pillow has gone through about a half a dozen machinations. It has gone through multiple design steps, and each time I went, man, I got it this time. This is awesome. And I would get a phone call from a veteran. Generally, we work a lot with veterans. We work a lot with folks in addiction recovery, as you know. And they would say, hey, I like this better, but if you could add this, or if you could, make it a little more comfortable. And I wrote those things down, and I took those things seriously. And I said, okay, we're closer. So this step isn't the final step. It's not the success I was hoping it would be, but it's not a failure because I learned something from it. I don't see any endeavor where somebody fails as a failure unless they simply, A, give up, or B, just don't learn from it. And when you create something, when you create a show, when I was back in the day of large-scale laser shows and concert productions, when you put a creative out there, you're exposing a piece of yourself to this mass audience. And you don't know how they're going to react to that. You don't know if they're going to like it, hate it, not care about it, walk out in the middle of, the program. But if you can become humble, if you can back up a little bit and say, okay, these were the things that worked. These are the things I can do better at. And then make a conscientious effort to do better at those things. That feeling of success that comes from that is even sweeter. That it's just awesome. Because then you start getting the feedback, hey, love it even more. I think you're really close. I think you've got it. And then eventually someone will come in and make a comment again that says, hey, I like it, but if you could do this. And don't close your mind off to those messages, because people want to see people succeed. We naturally want to see people succeed. But a lot of people are just too proud to listen. And I think that's a problem. You mentioned how as we get older that our life gets a little more full of stress and anxiety. And one of the things for me, and I had to really conscientiously do this week, is I needed to put down some of the negative messages and messaging that was coming off of Facebook. I would you read the stories and You start reading some of the interactions with people. And as I'm reading them, I would just get kind of tense and anxious and a little stressed, like, why do they say that? Why do they act that way? And I decided this week that I was going to back off of that. If I didn't have something positive to say to somebody, I'm not saying it. Because a big thing to remember when you're having an air quote, if we were on TV, it should be air quote right now, air quote dialogue. That those one-way messages are not dialogues. They're one-way monologues. Somebody says something, someone reacts. Somebody says something, somebody reacts. And being that words are only 7% of communication, and these posts and text messages are pretty much 100% words, you really lose the nuances of what someone's trying to say or trying to convey. So I've decided that from this point forward, and yes, you're right, I'm 54 today. So from my 54 to 55th year, I'm going to really stay off of the negative messaging. I'm not going to support it. And if I do have something to say, I'm going to say it in such a way that's positive. And then however that person reacts is up to them. I'll send the positive energy out into the world. They can embrace it, they can take it and run with it, or they can ignore it. That's up to them. But I'm not going to continue getting into some of these dialogues, these air quote dialogues. And that really this week, I really feel better this week. I'm not constantly consuming this negative energy. I'm not constantly listening to people who are calling me moron, idiot, words that I won't say on radio, and all these other things. But instead I kick back, hey, why do you feel that way? We don't know each other, but why would you put that out there? And that stops a lot of it. I've got friends, Mike and David, my friend Mike, the truck driver, and David, who's in audio, who are very much alike. But when they communicate on Facebook, they don't know each other. So they don't know that oftentimes they have the exact same position. It's just how they're communicating it and how it's being perceived with the text-only, words-only message. So I would say for most people, this is what I'm going to do. If you start getting a little tense, if you start reading something that you don't like or it rubs you the wrong way, as you and I were talking about earlier this week, first thought wrong. If your first thought is to lash out at somebody and call them names, you get that keyboard warrior, semi-anonymous feeling, and you start lashing out at people you don't know, you're just, that's wrong. If that's your first thought wrong. Delete it. Don't respond. Or send them positive energy anyway, because you don't know how somebody will react to that. Maybe you take them by surprise and like, oh wow, how do I react to somebody who's so nice and kind and positive? How do I tear that down? And that's a hard thing to tear down when someone's truly positive. That's a strong armor. And I would recommend for folks, just take a little break. If you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. If you can't text something nice, don't text anything at all. And you really will feel better. It's true.
It's a good position. I got to tell you, there are certain times, my first thought wrong. As a great comedian, recovery comedian, once said, first thought wrong, and I think about that. There's certain times where I'm ready to hit that send button, and I'm like, there's nothing right about what I'm getting ready to say here, and right. Delete and move. And I was told a long time ago, a gentleman that I knew a while back had always told me. He said, "Listen, man, take the high road. Do not go down into the mud with others." Because once you do, you're the same pig as they are. You're eating from the same trough they are. You know what I mean? Yeah. So don't put yourself in that position, because you're going to feel that. You're going to experience that. Yes. You're going to have those feelings of being at the same trough with them. So don't put yourself to a level that's going to affect you. And then what happens is, it's like anything else, Scott. Once you start affecting you, then that starts to affect other people in your life and other people you do work with, and It's just it's a downhill slide from that point. So
Right.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
And that being said, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. No, well, I was going to say that, when you and I grew up, we were always told, you are what you eat. You are what you eat.
Yeah.
Well, in this day and age, you are what you tweet. That whatever you send out, positive or negative, you are what you tweet. You become what you tweet. So I try to live the same, the same thought of you are what you eat. I just transferred it to a little more technological based for 2018, you are what you tweet.
Yep.
And I believe that. And in fact, I know it to be true. I believe it to be true, I should say. I don't know it to be true, but I believe it to be true. Because if we keep sending out negative energy consumes us. But if we keep sending out positive energy, and that's not just digital world, maybe you just hold the door for somebody who's walking into the store and you say, have a nice day. They don't even have to react to you. You did something nice. You carry that with you. And maybe just that moment, that person who's having a really rough day, because we don't know what shoes they're walking in. We don't know what path they took for the intersection to happen at that moment. But maybe just holding that door, putting a smile on your face and saying, have a nice day, is all it will take to shift that person's day into a completely new dimension, a new direction. And you just you positively impact. You leave a wake of positivity behind you. It can be done. It's practice. It is, and sometimes you have to do it even when you don't feel it.
And that helps. And that helps with the stress too. Mm-hmm. That helps with the stress.
Oh my gosh,
too. I mean, listen. If I'm always like so involved in self, and I'm like always just so like angry, because that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
For me, if I continue to look at these things with a negative, I'm gonna end up full blown with anxiety, fear, all of those things.
Yeah.
And there's certain times. Hey, listen, there's certain times I truly believe that there's some things that are said that I have to pray for the person. I really do. I have to stop.
Yes.
I have to pause, and I have to pray for others. It might not necessarily be exactly how I believe, and that's okay. They have their own position. But if they're coming out the side of their neck, for a guy like me, I have to pause, I have to breathe, and I have to say a prayer for him. I really do. Because the reaction, my reactions, if I don't do that and I just go off half-cocked, the reaction's never good, and then everybody around me suffers. So, hey, listen, that being said, as far as the meditation aspect of it, and I wanted to mention this because I think it was kind of cool, and we were talking about the whole process of failure and then taking failure and turning it into success and continuing to do that process. One of the things that happened over the years was that you had taken the pillow and you had turned the pillow into the sound system, and you started to collaborate with Harry Henshaw, a great musician, and uses music. He's a Dr. Harry Henshaw.
Dr.
PhD,
Harry Henshaw.
And he literally, between you guys, you put together an MP3 set of music that people can listen to for meditation, for other things. In our particular case, I'm going to talk as far as the treatment industry is concerned, or the treatment recovery, people in recovery like myself. This is now being used for people to be able to meditate, to be able to go to sleep. If you're not... If you're in early recovery, you have problems sleeping. So this helps with that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of different things that the music you're now dealing with helps, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. One of the first, I guess you'd say, proofs of concept was in several of the, kind of the forerunner of the, or I'd say more cutting-edge addiction recovery centers down in South Florida. Many of which you knew, John Giordano, and when he was with G&G and others. And what we found was there was what was known in the industry is the circus of the committee in the head. And what we found was by the individual laying down on the pillow and having something comforting, soothing to listen to, they didn't have their brain running amok with all the negativity, all the voices, all the woulda, coulda, shouldas, all the beating themselves up. And they were able to push that racing mind, is another way to call it, or as they say in PTSD circles, the movie in the head. They were able to push that out and achieve a state of relaxation, because they weren't sitting there saying, oh, my God, what did I do? I lost the kid. I lost the car. I lost the house. I lost. What have I done? All the negativity. And by pushing out the negativity, giving them something soothing and comforting to listen to, they fell asleep. And after a couple of weeks, there's one that really stands out, and I can't remember which center it came from or which clinic, but the individual who was, I think it was G&G, who was having a real tough time, was real, shut off from the world, started to emerge. And this individual started positively impacting the other folks in the clinic. This individual now got up early, showed up to the meetings early, helped set up the chairs, take down the chairs, wow. Became a positive influence to the new people who came in. And the doc or the clinical director actually was like, this is a new person, and this new person is having a really positive impact on our entire center. All of the other people are gravitating towards them, because people gravitate towards positivity. That's our natural tendency. And to be able to get this individual to emerge from their shell and become more active in a positive manner with those around them, each of the people they interacted with then became more positive, and the domino effect and the wave, the ripples just continue, and they just continue. So being able to cleanse yourself from the negativity, get some sleep, it changes the mindset, and it changes how we see our future. And if we have a brighter sense of self and a more secure sense of self, and that our future is bright, and look where I came from, look what I did, you can do it too. That ripple effect is profound. It's just amazing.
Beautiful stuff. The Sound Pillow sleep system can be found at soundpillow.com. The cool thing is if you go to the website, you can click on where, just hover above where it says reports, and there's a drop down, and there's all kinds of different things there, from wounded warriors to PTSD, addiction recovery. There's a lot of stuff there. So you can go to soundpillow.com, hover above the reports, and read the reports, and there's a bunch of other stuff there too. The news and sound samples, experiences. So you can check that out. Right. You can also, if you are interested and you want to talk with a really positive dude, I do it periodically when I'm in the muck, you can give Scott a call. His phone number is 877-846-6488, and maybe he can direct you to some sounds and to the system that can help you dealing with sleep issues or dealing with anxiety, with some meditation. He can help you and direct you. Again, Scott's number is 877-846-6488. And Scott, we really, really want to thank you for being on the show this morning and being a part of Waking Up Blessed. It was a great message this morning.
Well, it's always my pleasure, and if I can just get folks to understand, when someone asks, how are you today? Or if you ever ask me, how are you today, Scott? I'm going to give you the same answer. Any morning I wake up with a hot cup of coffee nearby is a good day. Not all days are easy, but all days are good. But I conscientiously move myself towards that, and others can too. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Anybody.
You're the best, brother.
No, man, I just try to follow those like yourself, man. You're an inspiration to so many, and for you to say that is just awesome. Thank you, brother.
Well, listen, man, happy birthday to you and many, many more. 54 years old this morning, and
yes, sir.
We got an applause button. So listen, man, happy birthday.
That. Positive energy to Lori. I'm going to keep her in my prayers. I'll be reaching out to her. And as you've done before, you need me, you call me. I'll be here for you,
brother. I appreciate that, dude.
All right, man.
Thank you so much. All right,
you
bro.
got it. You got it. All right, God bless you, man. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
You too. All right, guys, there you go. Thank you for tuning in to Waking Up Blessed this morning. You know, it's Scott is a person that we in recovery would call a norm. And for me, he's a beacon of hope. So there are people in my recovery circle that I get to reach out to and get a message. When I'm going through things, no matter what it is, it doesn't have to be necessarily somebody that's in my recovery, in the recovery process that I reach out to. I reach out to all people that I feel are positive and trying to make a difference in other people's lives, and Scott is definitely one of those people. Love him big time, and love you guys too. I thank you for tuning in, being a part of my world this morning, and we will talk to you on Monday morning. Again, we will not be doing a show tomorrow, but we will be back on the air on Monday. And I just want to thank everybody for your support and the people that have reached out to me and my family and Lori. And of course, we love you all. And we're going to go out with our friend Stacy Hampton, Road to Recovery. Check out her music at Stacy Hampton on Facebook. You can just Google her name, Stacy Hampton Musician, and all of her stuff comes up. Really, really great lady. And we put out Road to Recovery this morning for everybody that's out there listening.
Rockers in Recovery Radio is based on opinion only and is not meant to treat or diagnose any health or mental health issue of any kind. If you feel you need help for any health-related issues, please contact a physician or mental health professional. The opinions expressed by our guests are not necessarily those of Rockers in Recovery.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.